Welcome back once again. My name is Victor Digomore here. We are still looking at the 2025 concluded WAEC examination on mathematics. So we are solving all the questions that are in this question paper. We are solving all of them. We've solved section A. All the questions that are there is in our playlist. So, and then we are in section B, and inside this section B, we are in the 12th question. The 12th question, question 12B, question 12B, B part. Okay, so the importance of mentioning that we have solved other classes questions in other classes is for you to visit those classes so that you can be able to follow what we are doing. Okay, so in this question now, 12B, it says the points X, latitude 70 degrees south, comma, longitude 60 degrees east, and another point Y, 7 degrees south and longitude 60 degrees east, lie on the surface of the earth. I illustrate the information in a diagram. I find the distance between X and Y along the meridian. Okay, so you realize that the first thing we need to do is to sketch this information. We sketch it. If you've not been able to attend our classes on properties of circle, it's important because this is building on that. Properties of circle and its properties. We did a lot of classes, especially the classes that has to do with the length of an arc of a circle when there is an angle subtended at the center. It is important you know what is going on there so that you can follow what you are going to do here. Okay, we've not done much classes on latitudes and longitudes. We're still going to do that, we promise, as God gives us strength to do that. Okay, points X. So let me make a sketch of what this will look like. Okay, let's have a sketch of what this. We are trying to present a sphere because the earth is spherical in shape. Okay, so please bear with us however we make this to look like. This is the equator. This is the equator. Okay, so this is the Greenwich meridian that runs from the north, running from the north to the south. Okay, please permit me again, like I said, that this is a sketch to buttress what I am trying to present to us. Okay, so behind it, okay, it goes like this, and this equator goes like this. Okay, so this is what we are going to have: the North Pole, the South Pole. This is east and this is west. So by the information, we'll try to put up the information, fix them. The information they gave us here says there is a location X, and that location X is south, 70 degrees south, on the southern part, 70 degrees. So it is on the line of latitude. So that latitude will be, please, when I come back to discuss latitudes and longitudes, I'll begin to explain so many things that is inside here. So the lines of latitude run this way. Okay, so I will label this 70 degrees south. So they also told us again that the line of longitude there runs 60 degrees east, towards east. Okay, towards east. So let me have something this way, 60 degrees. Of course, from the Greenwich meridian to here is 180. From the Greenwich meridian to the West Pole is also 180. Okay, whereas from the equator to the North Pole is 90 degrees. From the equator to the Southern Pole is 90 degrees. Okay, 90 lines of latitude. Okay, and so I have put up this now, which is 60 degrees east. Okay, that's the line of longitude there. They now also said that another location, of course, the intersection of this, okay, this line of longitude and this line of latitude, the intersection will be the location of that point called X. Let me label that place X. X here, X. So we now have another location Y. They say that that is 7, very close to the equator because it's 7 degrees. You get what I explained now? That it is what? 7 degrees should be very close to the equator. Very close to the equator. So you can notice another point of intersection here, here, here. This is Y here, here. At this point of intersection of this line of longitude and this line of latitude. Okay. Let me also label this one 7 degrees south. Okay. So with this now, we've answered question I that says illustrate the information in a diagram, and then the next is find the distance between X and Y along the meridian. Of course, it's a distance along the great circle. It's not a distance along the small circles. Okay. The lines of latitude run like this, okay, and they are called small circles. Whereas these lines of longitude that run like this are called great circles, and we can calculate the distance along that great circle. Of course, we cannot say distance X, Y. It boils down to what I am saying. That thing I'm saying is that, look at this now. This is a circle, okay, with a center, and you have something like this. This thing you see here, we call it an arc. Okay, we call it an arc. I have discussed this exhaustively in the previous classes. There will be an angle at the center here we can call theta, and this is radius. Okay, so this length of this arc now is given by theta over 360 times 2 pi r. But what differentiates this r now and the r we are going to meet here is that this r is along great circle. So we are going to be using capital R for that. And they gave it in the question. They said it is 6,400 kilometers, capital R. So there's nothing, it's not much different from what we have here. Okay, it's not much different. So we are going to still maintain. That's why I say revisit those classes. Theta over 360 times 2 pi capital R, where this R is 6,400 kilometers. Okay, but if it is, please, if it is maybe, yeah, I believe I'm still going to make a time to teach latitudes and longitudes. If it's along small circle, along the line of latitude, you'll be using small r, and that small r is a measure of alpha, cos alpha times this 6,400. So we will dwell on that, and we will also do more classes on that. Okay, so let's look at this. We will have then this theta here. What is it going to be? Let me do a little illustration. Assuming this is, this is our equator. Let me, yes, yes, assuming this is the center, and you see something like this, okay, but you see that there is something like this connecting the line of equator. There is an angle here, and then this one comes down this way. And what we need is this. So you are having something like, let me illustrate. You're having something like, this is the center of the earth. This is the one that connects the equator. Okay, this is the one that connects location Y. Okay, and then this is the one that connects something like this, something like this. So, but the angle you need is this theta. So this is, let me say this is 7 degrees south, and this is, no, this is 0. This is 0 degrees, the equator, and this is 7 degrees, and this is now 70 degrees. You see that for us to know this angle here, it is simply going to be, it is simply this angle here now, because from here to here is 7, and from here to here is 70. So this theta here is going to be 70 minus 7. I believe we understand this illustration I gave here. So it is going to be 70 minus 7, which is going to give us theta to be 63 degrees. Okay. So if you look at that, if you take cognizance of that, what we are going to be having here is 63 degrees over 360 times 2 times 22 over 7, then times 6,400. Okay. So we can now work with that. So 7 can cancel itself here, okay, and cancel 63 and give us 9. This 9 will cancel itself, 1 cancel, of course 9 into 3, 36 is 4. So you add this 0, this will give us 40. You can also remove this 0 here and remove the 0 in 6,400. Then 4 cancel itself, 1 cancel 460. 460 by my calculation give us 160. To give us 160. So what I have left is going to be, what I have left there is going to be 2 times 22, okay, times 160. Okay, yeah, because this is gone and the whole of this is gone. So this 4 divide 640. When you remove this 0 and remove this 0, 4 divide 640 give you 160. So this, so we have 44 times 640. Sorry, not 640, times 160. I've done that reduction there. 160. So by my calculation, that is going to give us 7040. That is 7,040 kilometers. 7,040 kilometers. This is what the distance xy will give us this. Okay, and that is what they said we should calculate. They say we should calculate the distance xy along the meridian. Okay, so I believe this explanation I gave on this is very, very okay. I believe there is no trouble with it. I believe there's no trouble with it, and I believe that if by virtue of this class we've been able to help you understand one thing or the other, you can show that by liking the video and sharing to your friends, and subscribing to the channel as well. We are very appreciative of those who already subscribed to the channel. This program is less than 2 years, and we've gotten a reasonable number of views and subscriptions, which shows that actually there are people who we are helping to learn one thing or the other, and that gives us a lot of courage to push forward. Please, we still need more encouragement from you. by virtue of partnership and your moral support. Thank you so much for being there as we move on.